that if you don't trim your mustache, that when you go to floss your teeth, it can be difficult sometimes to get the floss between the teeth because the little hairs kind of get caught in between your teeth sometimes.
Out here I've learned how to make a fire, which is actually a pretty useful skill if you're able to use it. I've learned how to cook on a little gas stove, really small, though not very well, so don't ever ask me to because I don't make the best mashed potatoes. I've learned how to set up a tent in 2 minutes. Learned how to do a lot of knots. I've learned how to I've learned how to hang a bear bag, which is where you hang all your food.
I've learned that basically there's a lot of good people out there. Good people, if you ask them to help you with something, they will.
I've learned not to make open-ended commitments, like, oh sure, Dad, we'll walk the AT. If we try it out for 2 months first, maybe, and we like it.
Okay, so what I learned on our hike was that you can't always be in control, and that if it was hard to do, and I don't really like hiking, but I figured out that if I put my mind to it, it's something you can do, and it probably wasn't the hardest thing. Well, yeah, I guess it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was a good experience, and I think remember it forever.
I think the thing that I've learned the most is I've learned a little bit more about each of the personalities in my family, and that's really actually very helpful. I've learned that my husband is only grouchy when he's tired, hungry, or in pain, just like pretty much anybody. I guess I've learned things about each of my children that I already knew, but have just come to appreciate more. Like Rachel is a very compassionate person, and that Gabriel is a real finisher and capable of doing things he doesn't like to do, and that he's really tough that way, that he'll just see it through anyways once he's made the commitment. And that Kimberly is
Smartest
a
person in the
real
world.
leader.
I learned that even though I really like to be in charge, I don't have to be in charge all the time, and that it is possible to let go, and that I cannot control everything no matter how hard I try or really want to, and that sometimes you just have to let it go.
So I hiked the AT on Sunday. I just finished it a few days ago, and I'm in a dress, but it seems a little bit weird, but I'm just going to tell you about what I learned on the AT. Well, when we were hiking, I learned a lot of camp chores. I learned how to arrange a pack properly, or buckle it, or things like that, which most people know how to do, but it's a lot easier when you figure out exactly how to do it. Or else you'll be in pain the whole day when you're hiking. I've learned how to dig a hole, a 6-inch hole, going to the restroom, but I don't like doing that, so.
I think I learned how much I really enjoy being outside. Just learned a lot about my own kids. It's pretty good.
Okay.
So the last thing that I've learned, the thing that I've learned about myself is how much I really love the woods. I have childhood memories of my siblings and I going exploring in the woods, and I think the memories of us playing have kind of drawn my heart back to the woods. And I feel like I love the flowers in the spring. I love the colors in the fall. I love the springs and brooks trickling over the rocks, and the sounds of the tree frogs and the cicadas, the deer, I love the birds. And I think it's really nice that we've taken the time here to learn some of the trees and the names and some of the flowers, or a couple the birds. And I feel like I've lived in a lot of different places. I've lived in the desert, I've lived in the city, I've lived in tropical climates, and I find that it's interesting, the realization that I really feel at home in the woods.